Well, Eric, Israel's attacks on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon this week, raising fears of a wider war. In fact, here's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan earlier today.
It has been since October 7th. There are moments where it is more acute than others. I think we are in one of those moments where it is more acute.
He says the risk of escalation is real. Okay, let's bring in Mike Sarraille. He's a retired Navy SEAL officer. First of all, Mike, if I could, I want to get your reaction to rigging pagers and walkie-talkies as explosives. And is this a game changer? If so, how so?
You've got to look at it from this point of perspective. This is the first time that a terrorist organization has been terrorized by a nation state. I mean, it's a masterclass by the Mossad in Israel in their ability to sort of get into the supply chain system that Hezbollah was using for their communications, rig them with explosives. I'll tell you this, there isn't a Hezbollah operative or soldier that won't think twice about using an electronic device, which means they're now in their thought process.
Mm-hmm. Can terrorists use this tactic, or is the operation too sophisticated for them?
No, it's not. They have the capability, but you got to remember that Israel is a nation of startups. They're extremely technologically advanced. But what we're also seeing is what we call the preparation of the battle space. With 60,000 Israelis displaced from northern Israel, Israel is systematically preparing the battlefield if an invasion is ultimately decided upon. But they're hitting command and control nodes. We saw that with the removal of a kill. And you've got to believe that they're going to take a shot if they get Nasrallah in their sights or have actionable intelligence. They'll take that opportunity. But they're also hitting, ammo depots, the rocket sites, if an invasion is agreed upon by Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's the Hezbollah we're talking about. But of course, Hamas is definitely still hard at work. So what I want to do, in a bad way, of course, here's a side-by-side look at Hezbollah and Hamas, Mike. Hezbollah has 100,000 fighters, with Hamas with some 9,000 to 12,000 fighters. Hezbollah has 150,000 firepower, which Hamas has 30,000 rockets and missiles. But when you look at the annual revenue, all right, Hezbollah with 700 million and Hamas is raking in over $1 billion each year. So first of all, where and how does Hamas get its money, and how does that money impact the Hamas war against Israel?
Iran is ultimately the epicenter here for the Shia militias, and Hezbollah is a much stronger militia than Hamas at this point. Hamas has been degraded to the point where Israel feels that they can maneuver resources to northern Israel to deal with the imminent threat that they're posed with there. But ultimately, Iran, and you've got to remember, Iran is in a dicey situation. The Ayatollah is always one bad protest or uprising from an internal event. Ultimately, Russia and China are involved in the decision-making process for Iran. And of course, they're pushing Iran to continue whatever disruption they can gain in the region as it aids Russia with Ukraine and then China's expansion in Asia.
And not to get off track here, but you said, emphatically that Russia and China are basically directing Iran in its operation, its terrorist operation. Why is the U.S. still doing business with China? How does China get to remain sort of an upstanding nation on a level on the world stage?
We've become so dependent on China as a economic peer. They are also a military near peer competitor. I think until we can maneuver or move manufacturing to the U.S. at the rate that China has, we're going to continue to be dependent on them, which sort of forces us to the economic, let's say, negotiation table and dealing with them into the future.
Interesting. Have more on that, but we don't have time. How much time do I have, guys? Do I have time for a couple more, or do I have to say goodbye? All right, I have about a minute. So what I'd like to do is, we talked about Hezbollah, and you said that they're strong. I want to know, what are the implications of this war unfolding on Lebanon soil?
So the impetus behind the espionage through the pagers and the two-way radios was brought on by a plan called the Conquest of Galilee. This was an October 7th style attack planned by Hezbollah on the soil of Israel. So Israel was really forced to deal with Hezbollah. And now, as you see, they're moving their forces into northern Israel in preparation for an invasion if that's called for. So Israel could ill afford another October 7th attack. The Netanyahu regime could ill afford another October 7th attack, and they were forced to deal with this problem on a grander scale at this time.
Okay. Again, more questions, not enough time at the moment, but we'll have you back again. Mike Sarraille, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Otho.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.